Hi everyone, it's Nubian Sun Ra back with another video. And today I just want to let y'all in on something that I've wanted to put out for a while. And I hope everyone is protecting themselves and protecting their family, the ones that they love, because it ain't fair out here. I've noticed a lot of crooked things happening and where there is no physical evidence. So we must stay aware of the unseen at all times. And because of this, we have to spread awareness to be able to protect our families. That's how we protect our families, because this is not a physical war between flesh and blood. It's between principles versus principalities, basically. And I say this because it's like, when you think about it, like our children growing up with no real guidance, they are prone to a lot of situations that they are unaware of, because you would think that danger is just something that's seen. So they say, oh, don't go out at night. Okay, I won't go out at night by myself, or get in a car with strangers. Stranger danger. Don't play with knives. If you don't know how to properly use them, you might hurt yourself. Things like that. But we don't get them ready for do not accept anything from just anybody. Do not speak and hold conversation with just anybody. Do not give your body to just anybody, even if they look good. Those are the things we do not keep them aware of, and then we do not go into detail of the dangers. We tell them about diseases and how you could die and things of that nature. But with unseen forces, it's the same thing. It's just unseen. Like, for example, giving your body to someone you do not know on a spiritual level can lead to what they call possession. You can attract spiritual demons that latch on to you. You can share karma with that person. You don't know what that person has done. You have a risk of having mental magic done on you through sex, creating soul ties, and that's dangerous. Taking candy, a drink, or any object from a stranger, can lead to certain unfortunate events happening, because people cast spells on objects for people to receive. And me personally, I have experienced being poisoned through magic, like someone just touching a drink that I've had, and next thing you know, I'm throwing up, like I have been poisoned. And that's a real thing. A lot of our teens and young adults go missing unseenly because of what is unseen. And that's why I don't really agree with the unseen being taken lightly and it being pushed under the rug, because it is not half of the problem. I feel like it's majority of the problem. of what's going on now today. And a lot of our teens are into sex and drinking and drugs and things like that. So it's easy for them to get exposed to a lot of unseen forces. Yes, we are protected, divinely guided. So we always make it to where we need to make it to. A lot of times we do make it through all of these traps and unfortunate events. But I'm just talking about percentages. You know, not everybody does. And some things can be prevented if we were just aware and if we spread awareness. And a lot of our teens are, doing the things that we all have done when we were young, but we do not share the information with them about how you can be laced. Like if you're smoking, you could be laced, the weed could be laced, and not only with other drugs, but laced with magic. A lot of times, a lot of our teens go into depression and start losing their right mind because they're under an unseen force influence. And unless the parent is aware of this and is able to take the action to be able to make sure their child is covered and teach them, it actually affects a lot of households. And a lot of parents are unaware themselves because we don't know everything as a parent, and we try to protect our children the best way we can, and ourselves as well, because a lot of times we are exposed to these things, but we don't really know what it was. We just stopped doing those things, and we never really knew exactly what was going on, because when it comes to magic, the person that's doing it could cloak themselves to where you don't know where it's coming from. So it could be anybody, and it's just a lot of things that we have to be aware of. And one of the important things we have to be aware of is this type of magic warfare that I'm speaking on is what happens when you are being targeted. And being targeted is not only gang stalking, because a lot of times we would think that it's just people watching you and gang stalking you and cyberbullying and, relationship setups. It's a whole lot deeper. It's like I said in one of my other videos, it's like a combination of different tactics that are used against a person to target them. And they're all used at one time. And that's why a lot of times it's important to try to restrict yourself from as many distractions as possible so you can get right. And then once you get right and get strong in your discernment and in your protection, then we are led to our tribe or, people that we could trust. And, we know better. Once we know better, we do better type of thing. And I just wanted to make that clear. Like, whenever we talk about how the men are not protecting us as women and, the children, that's a conversation that a lot of people have. I feel like it is a double-edged sword because there are men that are protective of their family, and to speak on one topic at a time, not to be specific, but to speak on one specific group of people at a time. The ones that do not protect their families are either uneducated to the fact that such events are happening, or they are a part of the problem. And I just feel like when we talk about part of the problem, it's not only just the male species, it be women and children as well, because a lot of times people will use children to target other children. Grown people will use their children to target other children. They teach their children how to target individuals. So at this point, it's, everybody for themselves. You have to have discernment and be able to learn how to protect yourself and your family. And that's when it comes to the 3D realm and the spiritual realm, because they both work together. I always speak on the spiritual and the physical, the light and the dark. And I say they work together for a reason, because it's true. It's a fact. And I also want to say that whenever we are educating ourselves and our children, we should not be spooked. This is not a message to scare anybody. This is to raise awareness. It is a scary situation, so I can't tell anyone not to feel some type of way. I just don't want to be the cause of paranoia, because it's not really something that we should be totally worried about, as long as we are not participating in worldly things. Whenever religion says I'm in the world but I'm not of the world, it's saying that because once you are following trends and doing things of the world, with following what is cool, what everyone's doing to be in the in crowd, it leads you to destruction if you don't mean to go that way, because some people do. That's why they're there. But there's others that are just misplaced, and that's why I always talk about changing route. So whenever we hear such information about unseen forces and magic, is not to be alarmed to the point where we start developing anxieties and stuff like that, because it's not really that complicated. It's all about being what they say is obedient to the laws of nature. But I would call it self-love, loving yourself, because once you love yourself, you start to catch lessons and things that's going on. You look around and pay attention to people. You don't let love blind you. Love could be used as a weapon. It could be blinding in that way, and so we have to stay strong in our discernment and be rooted in it, because if we're not, we're easily distracted to the point where a lot of things go under the radar. And it's a distraction to have a lot of people around that you don't really know have your best interest at heart. Some people, they are always around large groups of people and things of that nature, because they are all the same kind. What a kind is DNA, relation of some kind, And yeah, you know, we all might be skin folk, but not all skin folk kin folk, you know, things like that. So you just have to know your lane and stay in it. That's one thing I learned, and it was a hard lesson to learn, and sometimes we do learn the hard way. But if you can look back and see your experiences and things you've been through, and anything in this video is activating you, is any type of confirmation, then it's time to actually evaluate some things. Because these people are serious about and skillful about what they do, you know, and they don't really care about who they do it to. They don't really care about how they do it. And that's why I say it's not fair out here. You know, that's for chosen ones. It's not fair to us in that way. But on the other side of the coin, you know, they feel like it's not fair of, you know, the gifts that we have, the protection that we have, the favor that we have, you know, and just how a lot of times, you know, they do something, it boomerangs back. You know, they feel like that's not fair because there are some people that are, they actually work on and things succeed. And then there's ones that it's a whole lot harder. And they'll act like spoiled children, you know, and just like throw temper tantrums. Oh, it's not fair, you know, things like that. So whenever we are speaking on, you know, all the things that I just mentioned, like the unseen forces, protecting your family, the magic in anything. It's the little details. I say that all the time. It's the little things that are used. We must know that it is important. It is very important if we take it seriously. Because a lot of times, with all the drama that's going on in the world, with having to work and provide for your family, you know, health problems, financial problems, you know, all of that is connected to what I just spoke on. You could probably help yourself by eliminating some of those issues just by having discernment and paying attention to your surroundings. And so you can have a clear vision, you know. And that's why I say it's important when I talk about these type of things. And it's important to not have fear, but just look at it as an awakening, an awareness. Somebody brought something to your attention, you know, because once you start feeling fear, then it leads to, you know, things that are an illusion. And I'm not here for that. That's not my intention. We are spiritual warriors. We are just like our ancestors that came and had to fight physically in flesh, and they fought in spirit. We doing the same thing. It's just modern day, and it's more civilized and illusions. You know, it's not as rough and tough and all out front like it was before. Now it's kind of disguised, and you have to be able to pinpoint it out, you know. Well, that's all I like to say for this video. I hope you all are drinking your water, earthing, Stay grounded. Say your affirmations. Meditate. And love yourself. Peace and love.